Hello everyone, good evening. Hope I'm audible and the screen visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Thank you so much for the confirmation. Right, so we'll get started. Yesterday we spoke about conditional formatting. Yesterday, the day 4 of our training, we looked at conditional formatting. We looked at certain options there like highlighting the cells, highlight cell rules, top and bottom highlighting certain members, data bars, color scales, icon sets. And we also saw how to write a rule, right? How to write a formula and define rules to highlight an entire row and manage the rules. So I just gave you all a brief introduction to the lookup functions. So the agenda for today's session is that we will try to understand about Vlookup with different variants, different options that it has, exact match, approximate match, Vlookup on expanding data. If time permits, we will also go and look at hlookup today. So what is lookup? Basically, what do we mean when we say lookup, right? Let's say you and your friend are having a conversation. You're discussing about some topic and your friend used certain words which you couldn't understand. Let's say 1 or 2 words you didn't know the meaning of. So what will we do? If I don't know the meaning of a word that has been used, then what would I do? I will essentially have to go and look it up, isn't it? Look it up in a dictionary. So that is exactly what lookup does. Okay, so there are a few words. Let's say there are a few words. Okay, there is 1 and 2 words that have been used, which I don't know the meaning of. So what will I do? I will go and search for these 2 words and find out their meaning by looking up these words in a dictionary. So what am I searching for? I'm searching for this word. Where am I going to search for it? I will have to look for it in the dictionary. So this is your table array. Okay, the place where we go and search for the word is called the table array. And this is the lookup value. Okay, so this is the lookup value. What I'm trying to search for becomes the lookup value. And where I'm searching for it is the table array, which I'm calling as the dictionary in this case, because I'm searching for the meaning of a word. Otherwise, it is a table array. Okay, now what will we have in this dictionary? Obviously, this should be present over here, isn't it? Only if this word is present over here, if there is a column which contains a list of words, in that column I will search, isn't it? I have to find it there. So there has to be a common field in both the tables. What I'm searching for should be present in the place where I am searching for it. So there will be a column where all these words are present. First word, second, third, fourth, all the words are present. What else will we have in the dictionary? The meaning of the word. Let's say there is one column that is holding the meaning of the word. Okay, let's say there is one more column in my dictionary that has the phonetic representation. The phonetic representation to understand how to pronounce that word, the pronunciation of the word. So many things will be there in the dictionary. Maybe something else, the synonyms. What other words can be used instead of that word? Other alternative options to use synonyms for it. Okay. So this is my lookup value. I'm looking up this value in my table array. And what am I trying to pull back? What am I trying to retrieve? The meaning of that word. Okay, which happens to be in the second column here. So how will Excel read the data is, it starts from left, it proceeds to the right, and it starts with column number 1. The first column is called column 1. Second column in the Excel is column 2. Third column is 3, 4, so on and so forth. Not A, B, C, D. Not A, B, C, D, which is the general name given to the column, general convention. No, in lookup we say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I need to pull back the data that is there in the second column, which is essentially the meaning of that word. So that will be my pullback value, whatever I'm trying to pull back. From where? The column number 2. Okay. And then after bringing it, there is one more thing that I have to specify. Do I need to search for an exact match? If I'm looking for a word, it should exactly match here, no? Only if it exactly matches, then I need the meaning of that word. So that is exact match, what we are going to use first in our training today. So I hope the concept is clear. Let's see with one example. Here I have some data which is called superstore data, where we have different customers who come to the store and they place orders. In order to purchase certain products, they would be placing some orders. Okay. So from the transaction that they did, from the order that they placed, what is the selling price and what is the profit? This information is here. Now, some of these customers went ahead and returned certain orders. This is the complete list of orders placed with the business. Later, some of them returned the orders. Okay, so this is the returned order ID. Now, my client has given me the list of returned orders and has asked me to figure out or find out who are those customers who returned the orders. Find out the name of the customer who returned it and what was the profit that we made from that transaction. Because now that we are going to return it, we will lose that profit. So they would like to find out about this. Now, how do we get it? So what am I supposed to do? This is what I need to search for. Where am I supposed to search for it? In my original database. And what am I supposed to pull back? What am I supposed to retrieve? The name of the customer who placed that order and what was the profit corresponding to that transaction. This is our requirement. So I need to search for something. So I will use the lookup function. What is the syntax for the lookup function is? We start with an equal to sign, right? Vlookup. Now, what is Vlookup? V stands for vertical. Because there are two variants, right? There is a Vlookup and there is one hlookup. So H stands for horizontal. Okay, when would we use Vlookup? When your data is arranged as columns. Okay, when your data is arranged into columns and when you want to do a vertical search, when you're searching for your data vertically, your search runs down. Your search runs down vertically. It runs along a column. Then we go for a Vlookup. If your data is arranged into rows and you're searching for your data running horizontally like this across the table, okay, running horizontally across the table, then we go for hlookup. So Vlookup is when your data is arranged in columns and you're going down looking for the data. You're going vertically looking for the data. All right. V stands for vertical lookup and H stands for horizontal lookup. Now, my screen is fully zoomed in. In fact, I have even increased the resolution here to almost 170%. It's pretty zoomed in. You may have to readjust your screen. Okay, Swarupasya, please check once. Right. All right. So how to write this lookup function? What is the syntax? It starts with equal to Vlookup. And the moment I open the bracket, you can see the syntax. Lookup value. What are we trying to search for? The word for which I didn't know the meaning. In this case, the order ID that has been returned. And where am I supposed to search for it? I have to look for it in my dictionary, right? The word whose meaning I don't know, I was looking in the dictionary. In this case, it is a table array. What is the table array? The complete data that is present in this sheet, the other sheet. This is my base information or the complete list of transactions placed. Okay, so I'll just select all the data. In this complete data, the whole data is highlighted. If you see, I'm supposed to look for this value, table array. And then now I'll move on to the formula bar. Over here, we can continue typing. So you can see that we are bringing our lookup data. I mean, the table array is in a different sheet. That is why you can see the sheet name with an exclamation mark. Then you can see the data range. Okay, in this range of data, I'm supposed to look, and what am I supposed to pull back? Okay, what am I supposed to pull back? That is the column index number. And remember, it goes from the first column. This is number 1, this is number 2, so on. What are we trying to pull back in our case? The name of the customer. So I'll have to give column number as 2 because that is in the second column. The next parameter or the next argument to be given is the range lookup, which is it true or is it false? Now I need to match the lookup value. I need to get the name of the customer, provided the order ID exactly matches what I'm trying to look for. Isn't it? It should be an exact match of the order ID that has been placed. So we will give false. All right. Now, once I do this and hit the enter key, you can see how it has pulled back the name of the customer. This is the order, right? 100867. 100867. This is the person who returned that order. Let's do it one more time with profit. This time I'm trying to pull back profit. Vlookup. Okay. What am I trying to look for? I'm trying to look for this value. Where am I looking for that value? In this range of data. So Control Shift right arrow, Control Shift down arrow to select the complete range. We can even go back and continue typing here, or we can continue typing in the address in the formula bar. So I'll continue here. Comma. Which column are we trying to bring back? Oh, this changed. One moment. I'm trying to look for it over here. Okay. Comma. What is the value that we are trying to pull back? Which column this time? Profit value. Right. I'm trying to pull back the profit value, which is column number 3. So I'll give 3, comma. Again, provided it is an exact match. So I'll have to use false as the last argument. And I will hit the enter key here. See, it pulled back 9. Okay, then how do we copy it down? By doing a double click, but it will not work. Why will it not work? Because of relative referencing. Right, it's not working properly because of relative referencing. I'll undo that. See, no matter what is the order ID given, we have to look in the constant range. The range is constant. Range is not changing, isn't it? We have to look for it in this range. But now if the range is relative and that moves down, it's not the correct thing. That is why this has to be made absolute reference. So I'll just lock the column and row in place. Okay, now that we have used absolute reference, even if I copy it down, it will work. Looks like it is taking some data over here because of these two. Anyway, I will just delete these two. Okay, so let's see this order ID 126634. Manually, I'll just check 126634. Here, 126634. Alan Barnes, and we got that, and profit is profit. I didn't copy it down anyway. So okay, so till here I hope it's clear. We're basically searching. Now there are other ways in which we can do a lookup. Rather than typing in Vlookup, what we can do is we can also insert a lookup function from the formula ribbon. So I will go up here to formula, and I'm going to insert the function in this cell. I would like to get data by using the lookup function, which I'm going to insert from this insert function option that is there in the formulas ribbon. Let me click on insert function. Here I have the formula builder. I would like to search for Vlookup. Okay, this is what I want. And this, I did a double click on it. Okay, so first is what? It's just like the syntax that we use, right? What is the syntax for the lookup value? We need to give the lookup value here, which is present over here. So if I go and simply click in this box, you see the reference has come. And then the table array, where am I trying to search for it? I'm searching for it in some other sheet. So I'll go to that sheet and select the complete range. Okay, table array is here. And which column am I trying to bring back? Column number 2 that is present in this array. And should it be true or false? It should be false because we are going for exact match. We need to fetch provided we get an exact match. We can either type in false, or instead of typing in false, we can also give 0. 0 is equivalent to false. Okay, you can either type in false or you could simply give 0 because 0 means false in this case. Okay, so once this is done and I click on done, you see the result is already showing up here, Alan Barnes. So once I click on done, you can see the name has been pulled back. Okay, so we can also do it by inserting the function from here. I'll do a recap quickly one more time. I'm going to insert the function by clicking on the insert function icon on the formulas ribbon, which opens the formula builder. If it's a Windows machine, you get a pop-up. On a MacBook, it comes to the side here. This is the function I'm trying to use. So once I select the function, you see the syntax of that function, the arguments necessary for that function have come up. First, the lookup value. This is the lookup value. Next, the table array. I would like to look it up in this particular sheet by selecting the entire data. Next, the column index number. This time we are trying to pull back profit. Profit is in the third column. Finally, the range lookup, which is the logical one, meaning is it true or false? True means what? It would be an approximate match. False means exact match. We can give 0 for false. And you can see it has already obtained the result. It's showing us a preview of the result that it will be 40. Now, once I click on done, you can see how it has brought it back. All right. Yeah, we are doing multiple examples on referencing itself. Yeah, absolute referencing is possible even on the formula bar. You just absolute referencing means what, Mohan? It simply means that you're locking a cell in place or you're locking a range in place. So if I go here, let me just close this. So how did we build this? How did we build this? Isn't it? By writing the lookup function. So here it is relative reference. So if I copy it down, it will not work properly. If I have to use absolute reference, I have to simply put $sign over here. You see, in the formula bar also, we can use absolute referencing and lock things in place. Okay. All right. So now let's see one more way of doing this. See, don't get confused. True is what? When you're looking for an approximate match. False is when you're going with an exact match. I want the order number here to match exactly with the order number present in my database. Right? Only when there is a perfect match between the order numbers, I need to get the name of the customer and the profit corresponding to that transaction. That is why we are going with false, because we are looking for data that exactly matches what we are searching for over here. Is it clear, Avinash? I will give you an example with approximate match also, but we will do that later. First, let's understand exact match thoroughly. Then we'll go to approximate match. Exact match meaning false should be the argument, or you could give 0 as the argument. Both mean false. And what are we essentially telling is pull back the value only when what we are searching for exactly matches the data in the column. Okay, in the table array where we are trying to look for the data. Rajshekar, yes. Absolute referencing we are giving only for the table array because this is fixed. At any given point of time in this array, I am supposed to search for the value. Why am I not using absolute reference for this particular search thing? Here, why did I not use absolute reference? I left it as relative because I want to be able to copy it down. Did you get it, Rajshekhar? I want to be able to copy it down because when I move down, I need Excel to take the second cell, B4. And when I'm searching for this customer, it has to reference B5. When I come here, it has to reference B6 and bring me the customer for a name of corresponding to this order ID. So this I'm not locking in place. This is relative. Okay, but the range where we are searching for it, that is fixed. Okay, so now, yeah, so we are doing exact match. Let's, I think, continue with the same example and look at expanding data, how it works with expanding data. Yeah, Mohan Raj, you can use it even in the insert function box. Even over here, you can use absolute referencing. You can do that. Okay. So far, we are referencing back to this array by basically selecting the whole thing, isn't it? I had to select this, then go here, then go down and select the entire thing. And then, okay, fine, I'm using it back there. Every time if you have to do this, it might be a little difficult, a tedious task. So what we can do and what we should do is give a name to the range. Name the range. Name the range. Generally, when you use named ranges, it makes life very easy for us. When we are writing formulae, it becomes very easy when we use named ranges. So what does it mean to give a name to the range? All right, naming a range. First, I will select this range, which is my table array, the complete list of transactions. And then after selecting the data, when we go up here, okay, to the name box, see, this is our formula bar. We have the function icon from where we can insert a function. And before that, completely towards the left side over here, you will see A2. This is the cell that is highlighted, A2. This is called name box. Okay, this is name box where we can go ahead and give a name to our range. So I will call this superstore and underscore data. So it will not accept spaces. If you would like to use two words, then you must, if you'd like to use two words, you must put something in between them, like underscore or a hyphen mark. Somewhere you have to link the two words. Spaces are not allowed in the name. Okay. So I'm using the name as superstore underscore data, the name that I have given to this range. How does this make my life easy? Let me show you. Now, when I write a lookup function, I need to look up for this value. Where am I supposed to look up for it? In that range of data, right? Which is our table array. But we have given a name to that range. So now if I simply press down the F3 key, okay, if we press down F3 function key, F3, it will give us the list of all the named ranges that we might have created. Okay, here is one of the named range that I created, superstore data, which is referencing to the complete list of orders placed by the customer. So I will select it. Okay, this is what I need to reference. Okay, so did you all understand how it is making life easy for us? We don't have to go back to that sheet. We don't have to select the entire range again and again. We'll specify the name of that range, comma. I need to pull back column number 2 with an absolute match. Frank is the person who placed this order 152443. Okay, this is the order. Now let's pull back the profit. So how will I pull back the profit? Equal to Vlookup. What am I trying to look for is the order ID, comma. Now table array. I don't have to go back to that sheet and then select the range because I have already given a name to that range. So I'll press down the F3 key. Once I press down the F3 key, see here, superstore data is the named range. I'll select it and click on OK, comma. I'm trying to bring back data from column number 3 with a exact match. So 0. Enter. 297 is the profit. Okay, now let's do this using the formula bar. So let's insert a function. Function is Vlookup. Lookup value is this. Table array. Here I have to type in. Okay, I'll have to remember the name. So the table array name is Superstore data. Okay, Superstore data. And then the column I'm trying to bring is column number 2 with an exact match. It has already brought in the name. There, let's cross check because our data is small. We can cross check, do a visual check. 160325. 160325. Understood? So let's practice it one more time. What are we trying to do here now? Lookup function. I'll insert it. I'm looking up for this particular value. Where am I supposed to search for it? I'm supposed to search for it in Superstore data, which is my reference data. And I'm trying to pull back column number 3, provided there is an exact match. So 241, you can see the sample result. Once I click on done, the data comes. So it was 241. Okay. I hope it's clear. So we can give, by giving a name to the range, it actually helps us to build the formula in a much more easier manner. So we discussed how to do it manually by typing in the function. We discussed how to do it by inserting the function. We discussed how to do it by giving a named range. Okay. Now I'll just copy this down, and I'll copy this down by doing a double click on this handle. So we got it for the other customers or other orders also, but there is one particular order here for which it's not able to bring back the data. Why is it unable to bring back the data? Because this order ID does not exist here, not available. What is the NA error? We had discussed, right? NA means that order ID is not available here. With all ones, there is no order. Okay, that is why it's not able to pull back anything because it doesn't exist, not available. So how to handle it in a more elegant manner rather than showing it like an error? How can we make it better, right? How can we make this error look better or give a meaningful statement here? We'll use the if NA. So all I need to do is go here to the formula bar, and I will wrap this whole thing in the if NA function. So I'll just open the bracket. Okay, open the bracket before lookup, and I will use if NA. It will perform this, and upon encountering NA scenario, I would like to say the order ID is incorrect or not found. Okay, the order ID is not found. And then I'll close the bracket and click enter. You see? So more elegant way of handling an error rather than simply showing NA and leaving it there. It's, I think, a sophisticated way of handling an error. All right. Now, till here, I hope it's clear to all of you. Yeah, we are going with absolute match, right? I don't know who this is. Your name is coming as Little Wonder, right? Okay. So now what we will do is, let us say this is some real-time data. So in real time, what happens? A lot of new orders could be getting placed. While new orders are getting placed, some of the orders might, customers might be returning the orders also. So this, let us say, is data that keeps growing. Okay, let us say this is data that keeps growing, means every day new transactions happen and those transactions keep getting entered over here. Now I'm going to enter this, okay? Profit 10 and sales value 100. So new transaction has come over here. One person has placed this order. Finally, this order got placed. Somebody placed this order. Now that the new order is here, will Excel be able to pull back this value? Okay, why will it not? Will it pull back the value? Let's see. It didn't pull back. isn't it? No, we have not handled the error, Rohini. We have just in a more sophisticated way telling that this order is not found rather than showing NA. So that icon will come. Okay. If you want, you can go here and ignore the error. Understood? So you can go there and ignore the error. So you have replaced the error with a meaningful message. Understood, Rohini? We replace the error with a more meaningful message, post which you can go ahead and ignore the error. All right. Now, even though this order is now present in this data, somehow the name of the customer did not get pulled back. That is because, why did it not get pulled back? See here, we are searching for this particular order in, where are we searching for this order? We are searching for it in this superstore data named range, isn't it? And exactly what does this named range contain? What is the amount of data that it is referencing? How to get to know that? We can go to name manager. Okay, we can go to name manager and we can see the name ranges that we have created. So superstore data, the name range that I created, is basically an absolute reference to this range of data. Okay, it is an absolute reference to the data. So A2 to D103. All right, A2 to D103. And the new transaction which happened is in cell A104 to D104. So it's only taking up to this. The new transaction which got inserted is not in that named range. I hope you all understood the scenario here. That is the reason why it is not able to pull back the value. All right, now what to do? How do we handle it in a better way? How can we handle such scenarios where the data is ever growing? With real-time data, it is dynamic. It keeps changing. New records keep getting inserted. Some existing records might be getting deleted. So how do we keep it up to date? There are two ways of handling this situation or this scenario. One way of handling this is, if you feel your data is dynamic and we can't just give a static range of values, one thing that we can do is we can convert this into a table. Okay, so what I will do is I will delete this transaction for now. Okay, and whatever data I have, I'm going to convert this into a table. This is a range which I'm trying to convert into a table. How? By just clicking anywhere in the table. Okay, click anywhere in the table and then do a Control A to select the entire data. You can see how it selected all the records, and then do a Control T. Okay, click anywhere in the table, do a Control plus A in order to highlight the entire data, and do a Control plus T in order to convert that into a table. All right, so where is the data for your table? It is in this range. And my table has headers, isn't it? The first value that you see in every column is basically the name of that column. So my data has headers. Now I'll go ahead and click on OK. This becomes a table. How do we know that this is a table and not a range? Because if it is a table, if at all you're working with a table, a new option will come on the toolbar, on that ribbon. Table option comes on the ribbon. All right. Okay. So, and here a new ribbon comes for the table, and you can see a lot of ways in which you can present your data. Different color schemas are there. Anyway, we'll leave it. This is table 1. All right. We can give a name to the table. Let's give some meaningful name to this table. I will call it Superstore. Table. Okay, Superstore. Table. Enter. So I've given a name to my table. Let's go back and let me just delete everything. And I'm going to rebuild the Vlookup. Equal to Vlookup. The lookup value is this. Now, where am I trying to search for it? I'm trying to search for it in a particular table. All right. So I'll give the name of the table, which is, you see, Superstore table. As I start typing in, the autocomplete feature is giving me the references. Superstore table. I need to search for that particular value in the Superstore table and pull back column number 2 with an exact match. It came. And if I click here, okay, it's able to pull back everything except for this because that does not exist as of now. As of now, it doesn't exist. Similarly, let us do this with the insert function. Formula, let's insert a Vlookup, looking up for this value. And where are we looking up for it? In the Superstore table. Okay, I want to pull back column number 3. False is the argument. There's a problem here. You see, it's showing an error. Means it could not fetch the result because the name of this table is wrong. Now it's able to bring back the result. So here you can verify. Done. And I will simply copy it down. Here it's not showing. Somehow in the function box, it's not showing. But on a Windows machine, it shows. MacBook, it's not showing in the function box. Okay, Mohammed. Only while typing in the formula here, it's showing. In the function box, somehow it's not showing. Okay. So now that I have this, let me go back to my data and insert that one more record into the table. I'll insert data for this particular transaction into the table. See, because this is a table, table will automatically expand. The moment you make another transaction, you see the color, how the table has expanded. Look here. Table keeps automatically expanding. All right. If this is my data, a new record got inserted into the table. Now let me go here. You see how it pulled back Bhargavi and the profit. Earlier it was not, it was NA, not available, but now it managed to pull back. So this is one way in which you can handle a situation where your data is dynamic and it is growing. Okay. So let me go back here. Practice file has the link not been shared yet. Naveen, that's the next option we are going to see. So the link to the files will be shared to you both in YouTube chat and also on the LinkedIn live chat. You can download you can refer to the data sources from there and practice. It will be shared today. Okay. So one way of handling is you convert your range into a table. Tables keep ever expanding. So even when new transactions happen, when new records are inserted, they will be handled automatically. You don't have to go back and keep changing the range. Okay. The other way of handling this is, I will, let me just undo that, because I don't want that record. Let it continue being NA. Let me go back here. Okay. Okay. Back to the range. Okay. Back on my range, and I'm not having any table anymore over here. Now what we'll do is the other way of handling it. Okay. When your data is ever expanding, the other way of handling it is you go ahead and select the columns from here. Getting it? Earlier, I was selecting the data like this, only the data I was selecting. And therefore, when a new transaction happened, a new record got inserted, because I was making an absolute reference to that range, it didn't include the newer transactions happening. So now what I will do is I will create a named range. First, maybe I'll clear all the named ranges, delete them. Okay, I'm going to create a named range, but by going to the column, by selecting the column from here. Okay, so the entire column like this, like this, like this. So what happens? The whole column is selected. You see now, everything is selected. Now we'll give a name to this range. I'm calling it superstore range. Okay. And I will hit the enter key. Now let's go back and build the formula referring to that range. This is the lookup value, and I have to look it up in superstore range now. With the F3 key, I got it, comma. I'm supposed to bring back column number 2 and false. Got it? And let me pull it down. It's not bringing for this transaction because it's not there. I removed it. So let me go back and insert the new record. I'll insert this. Let's say this got placed now. Okay. And once the new record is inserted, it should get pulled back automatically, which happened. How did it get pulled back automatically? Because we are using the range now. How was this range created is what matters. How was this range created? It was not created by selecting the values, but by selecting the names of the columns over there. No, this is not sheet renaming. We are just renaming a sheet. No. We are just giving a name to selected columns in the sheet. So it's not completely renaming a sheet. Okay. All right, so let's proceed. Total number of columns in an Excel. See, like this A, B, C, D, like that, you have a lot of columns. We have around 16,000 columns. I think it keeps going on. Depending on how much data you want to put, you can put. Okay. All right. Yeah, data sources link has been shared with you all. So you can please go to that link and download the data sources, access the data from there. I hope you all have received the link. Okay, it is in view mode. Yeah, okay. They will change it. All right. So this was about Vlookup with exact match. Now I will show you an example of Vlookup with the true argument. True argument means what? Approximate. Okay, it wouldn't be an exact match. It could be an approximate match. And true is equivalent to typing in 1. So even if you type in 1, you're basically telling true. Like for false, we could either give false or we could give 0. Both work, isn't it? Similarly, for true also, we can give true or we could give 1. Both will work. All right. So we look up with true argument. Now look at this data here to understand this concept. Venkat, why don't you refer back to the video where all the formulas, everything are there, right? When you refer back, you will be able to see the formula. You can practice simultaneously by watching the video. Because I have not saved the formulas in any of those data sources. Only the raw data is given to you all, the data on which we begin working with. Okay. So whatever you have learned, you type it and practice by referring back to the video rather than copying the formula from somewhere. All right. So let's continue. Here is the data. Let's try to understand this data. These are selling prices of various products. Okay. Depending on the selling price, VAT is applied, value added tax. Okay. VAT is applied on the product. So for all the products whose price range is in this range, whose price is in this range, products with the selling price in the range of 1,001 to 2,000, VAT to be applied is 5%. For the products in the range with the selling price in the range of 2001 to 5000, VAT is 10% that is supposed to be applied. And for this range, 20% VAT should be applied. And in this range, 30% VAT should be applied. Okay. Right. Rajesh, for now, we are dealing with data in a single Excel across multiple sheets. We're not dealing with multiple Excels. All right. So this is our data. Lower end you can see, higher end you can see, and the tax value added tax VAT on that product for whatever product. Now, what is given to us is the selling price of a product. So if the selling price is 15, we need to look up in this range or in this data, and we need to figure out what is the VAT to be applied. Okay. If the selling price is 2500, what is the tax to be applied? Do you see 2500 anywhere over here? No, right? It is not there. If it was there, then we could have gone for an exact match, 2500 matching with 2500 and then fetching the tax. But here it is not there. So exact match, which uses the argument false or the number 0, is not going to work in this case. In this case, I'll have to go with approximate match. And to use approximate match, data in the first column should be sorted in ascending order. Okay, if you're using the true argument where you're going for an approximate match, the prerequisite or the condition for it to work is the data in the first column in that range that we are looking up in the table array should be sorted in ascending order. Now that is the only prerequisite and it has been followed over here. Now, how do we write a lookup function? The way we write the lookup function is the same. No change to the way you write the lookup function. Is equal to Vlookup. Then what? The lookup value is 1500. This cell, the data in this cell. The place where I'm supposed to look up for that value is this range. Okay, I'll just select it because it's small data. I can directly select it. And I'm going to lock it in place by using absolute referencing. And then the column index number means which column are we trying to pull back? This is column 1, lower end. Higher end is the second column. VAT is the third column. So column number is 3, comma. Now I'll go with approximate match. So I'll have to type in true or select true from here. Okay. And when I click on the enter key now, when I apply that formula, you see it pulled back 5%. Why? Because 5% falls in this range. I mean, 1500 falls in this range. And for this range, the VAT is 5%. So did you all understand the difference between a true match and a false match, approximate match and an exact match now? Let's do it one more time for practice. Equal to Vlookup. What are we trying to look up now? This value, comma, where? In this range. In this range, comma, which column are we trying to pull back? Column number 3. And the argument should be true. For true, what we can do is we can give 1. Okay, in the previous case over here, I typed in true or I selected true. Now I'm just giving 1 because 1 means true. 0 means false. So let's make it absolute reference by pressing F4, F4 again, enter. And you can see 10% has been brought back. We don't have 2500 over here. It is not an exact match, but 2500 falls in this range based on which it managed to return this value. Then 20,000, let us copy it down. If I copy it down, you can see for 20,000, which is above 10,000, it goes and it fetches 30%. And for 10,000, it's fetching 20%. Okay, because it comes in this range. So basically it looks up in the first column. Okay, it looks up in the first column. That is why I'm saying that it has to be sorted in ascending order. After 1000, the next value is 2001. So what will be this? This will be here. Okay, then this will be here, that way. So that's the difference between true argument and false argument. Now, I hope Vlookup is clear. The reason why I'm taking up this session on a Friday is so that you can refer to these videos on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, you can refer back to the videos over the weekend, practice them as much as possible. And if you have any doubts, we can take it up in the next session on Monday, that is. So Vlookup is vertical lookup. I hope it's clear. Now we will talk about hlookup. If you have understood Vlookup, hlookup is pretty similar. Vlookup is where you're doing a vertical lookup, your data is running down and you're doing a vertical lookup. hlookup is if your data is running in a horizontal manner. Okay. hlookup is where your data runs in a horizontal manner and you are going row wise to look at your data, not running down, but you're going sideways to look at your data. For that, we need data arranged in that manner. So what I will do is, rest of the arguments remain the same. So I'm going to take this superstore data, which is organized like this. Okay, let me copy the data. Control C. And I will copy this. I have copied this data. I'm going to paste it in a different sheet. So let's call this, sheet 1. Let's call this hlookup data. Okay. And what I will do is, I am going to paste that data which I copied over here using the paste special option. Okay, once I go with paste special, let's see what happened. Did the copy part go? Me copy it, go here, and I'm going to use paste special. And when you do paste special, okay, where is the paste option again? Here on the home ribbon, the first option itself is paste. Rather than clicking on the paste button, you have to click on the drop down arrow, which gives you a lot of other options. Okay, how you might want to paste the data. The last option there is paste special. No, don't go with control V, it will not work. Go with paste special. And here we get the window. And there is one checkbox here called as transpose. So what will transpose do is whatever data is stored vertically column wise, it will flip it. Okay, it will flip rows to columns and columns to rows. So columns will now get arranged as rows. So let's see. Look at that. Okay. Let me select it. Overall, I will change. Okay, let me just overall maybe just increase the size of that data. 16. Fine. So this is our column header now. These are row headers now. Earlier we had column headers, right? Earlier we had column headers. Order ID was the name of this column. This is the name of this column. This is the name of profit column. Profit is the name of the third column. And sales is the name of the fourth column. Now with by transposing it, what did I manage? When we transpose it, what happened? Column headers have become row headers. Columns have become rows. So this is order ID, which is one row, customer name is one row, profit is one row, sales is one row. Now, by looking at the data present here, let us say we need to pull back information here. Okay, so I'll just delete everything that I did here. So this time I would like to reference the data in the hlookup sheet, horizontally arranged. So let me do, I'll just go with the range. Okay, I'm selecting the complete range where even we have this value also. So the complete range is selected. And I'll give a name to this range. hlookup data, I'm calling it so that it's easier for me to remember. Now I'll go back. I've given a name to this range. Now I'll go back and pull it from there. Equal to, instead of Vlookup, hlookup. What are we looking up? This value. Where in the table array, hlookup data array. Okay. And what is the row number? This is the only argument that changes when you use hlookup. In Vlookup, we were using column number. The third argument was the column index number. In hlookup, it is the row index number. Which row are we supposed to pull back? We are supposed to pull back data from row number 2. And we need an exact match, so I'll go with false. There. Okay, we can do this again even by using the insert function. I'll insert the function. This time I would like to insert hlookup. And the moment I insert this function, the arguments will get populated. I need to give in the arguments. I'm searching for this. Where am I searching for it? In the hlookup data. I hope I gave the right name. No, we didn't. Okay, you can see this data has come, which means this name is correct. And the row index number that we are trying to pull back is row number 3. And we are trying to go with an exact match. So 0. You see, result has come. I'll click on done and job done. So now I'll simply copy it down and copy it down. Okay, everybody, did you all understand the difference between hlookup and Vlookup? Yeah, you can convert this also into a table. Let's say this horizontal data is going to be ever-growing data. It is dynamic and it keeps changing, or new transactions keep on happening. Then you might definitely want to treat it as a table. Okay, rather than selecting the range, you might definitely want to create a table out of it. So I'm creating a table. And does our table have headers? No, right? We can't say that my table has headers now, because if I say table has headers, it's going to take each of these as headers. It's going to take these order IDs as headers, which is not what we are trying to do. So I will uncheck this option. My table has headers. Now, if I uncheck this option, it will go a little weird. It will automatically assign column names. That is okay. It is okay to have this particular header with column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay, this is one point you have to remember. When you're converting your horizontally aligned data into a table, which you would be using in hlookup, you should not say your table has headers. It has row headers. It doesn't have column headers, right? So when I convert this to a table, I will just make sure to uncheck that checkbox. My data has headers, and it will automatically assign headers as column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay, now let's insert one new value towards the end of this. You can have more than 1600 columns. I don't remember the exact number, but around more than 16,000 columns you can have. So let's say one more transaction has happened. Okay, let us just give this all twos. It'll be easier to remember. And some XYZ person placed this order, gave a profit of $1,000, $10,000, and selling price 20,000. Okay, this is my data. So as new records keep getting inserted, new columns keep getting inserted, the table will grow. And now I'll go back here and I'll reference that table to pull back the data. How will you reference the table to pull back the data? It remains the same. Equal to hlookup. The value is this, and we are pulling back data from a table array. I did not give a name to the table, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I better give a name and come back here. We'll give a name to this table. Here I am. And here I have to give a name to the table. On the table ribbon, okay, on the table ribbon, here we'll give a name to our table. This is the name of the table. Already exists. So let me say, okay. Calling it horizontal data. Now I'll go back here and build it. F3. Okay, F3 gives only the range. This I have to type in and then it will come. So horizontal data, okay, structured reference to the data set, comma, row number 2, and with an exact match. Okay, so let me just double click here. You can see, suppose a new transaction has been, new order has been returned. There is one more order which got returned, let's say. This order got returned. What will happen? We copy it down. XYZ was the person who returned it and it came. Understood? So when you have ever-growing table, you can just definitely make it a table. Whether the data is horizontal or your data is vertical, it does not matter. You can convert it into a table and apply the Vlookup and the hlookup functions. Okay. So yeah, that's about what we had to cover today, and we managed to complete everything. So please refer back to the videos if there are any doubts, especially if you would like to, if you're not able to remember or recollect the formula, you can watch the video again, go through the formula, okay, and type it and practice it as much as you can during the weekend. I will see you after the weekend. And those of you who are visiting for the first time, who are coming to this website for the first time, to our channel, I would request you all to please not leave without subscribing. And if you have liked the video, if it has improved your knowledge even by 1%, I request you all to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Yeah, thank you all so much. That's it for today. We will continue with the concept of lookup in the next session also. We will be looking at Vlookup with index and match. Then we have XLOOKUP. All these things are there. We shall cover. We'll have one more session on the lookup functions. So next session also will be on the lookup functions. All right. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye-bye.